So mixing of the different element to create a new element is called compositing. This is what Ganesh you have told. That is very nice. That's right. So in the chat box it is there. You can switch to everyone and get it chat also. So it can catch to all. Fine. So it is a format to get interact with each other, adding multiple scenes in one frame. So yes, this is one of the application. Akshay, you are right. So it is an application format. Now, in a summary format, oh yes, in either of the format, we are doing what? We are mixing different element and we are creating a new scene so that the audience will involve inside the scene and feel like it is done through a single camera shot. But it is not done in a single camera click. It is done through various mixing. But audience will feel it is done through a single camera click. So that is what the output of the compositing. But the definition, mixing of different elements and creating a new element is technical called as compositing. In any software like Photoshop, what is Photoshop? It can be a question. How does we answer that we have understood? If we answer as per the work into concern, we have understood the works, but the funda is not clear. Work is clear, that's why we'll get a job. But fundamental to be get clear so that we can make new work. So what is Photoshop? If it is a question, what is the answer?
Image editing software.
Yes, great. It is an image editing software as per the work into concern. Okay. It's very nice answer. And what is the other answer for Photoshop? As per the making into concern or as per the graphics into concern, what is Photoshop? It could be a question, right? So it's an exercise we are doing. We are answering to each other, but the market will ask us these questions and they value us with these answers. And our salary will depend or the position will depend on this because as a team leader, the team leaders are same technicians, but they approach to the software in a different manner. That's they make their position different inside the company. So what is Photoshop as per the graphics into consent? Because compositing is completely Photoshop based. Photoshop okay, any compositing software okay. Photoshop is a raster graphics software as per the graphics into consent. Okay. So what is the answer we have created here? It is a raster graphics software. Everything is recorded. We'll be getting this also. So you can either note or listen to it later also. Now, as per the base element into concern, what is Photoshop? Base element is pixel. So Photoshop is a pixel graphics software. So just we have taken a software and we have given three different kind of definitions as per the work into concern, as per the industry into concern, as per the basic element into concern. Is it okay? So every software does have its own definition in the different regards or reference point. Now, as if you got to know, compositing is a process where we are going to mix different elements and create elements. There are different softwares which makes compositing. Now, before going more in depth, let us see the Excel sheet. It may be a different questions. It would have been there in your brain. In that angle, we have noted it out and given some answers. So let us see onto your screen. What is compositing? It is a process where you mix different elements to create a new element. It could be anything. I'm talking. Talking is a in compositing only. Then in which way? Different sounds are there and the sounds are coming and we feel like the person is talking. It creates a new identity, right? We don't tell like the sound is coming. We tell he's talking. The sound has turned into a terminology called talk because of the compositing, because it creates a new identity. So hope we have understood now a little technical format, but it could be a question from your end. What is compositing? And understanding this base thing proper, then we'll be a compositor, right? The person who will do the compositing is called compositor. Now, Here we got to know a word called mixing has been written. Photo mixing artists are required in general photo studio. You'll find photo mixing artists are required. Then what is this photo mixing means? Right? Placing a photograph in front of an element is called photo mixing. So now we are understanding as a technical person what is the difference between mixing and compositing. Mixing and compositing. If it is placing the things like in front of the Taj Mahal, one person photo is there. If people tell his photo is there in front of the Taj Mahal, then it is called photo mixing. If the same photograph is placed in such a manner that if the people start up making a statement, he's standing in front of the Taj Mahal, then it is called compositing. The difference comes from the audience statement or the viewer statement. In both the way we are mixing only, but here we get a statement. Hello, hope the voice is reaching. Is it okay?
Okay, sir.
Fine, fine. Just we are not enter into the software. We are just discussing what is compositing, as if like initial stage, and we are finding out what is the difference between mixing and compositing. And once we are understanding it very clearly, then we can able to do either compositing or mixing. If the audience start of speaking like this is there in front of that, then it is photo mixing. If the audience tell yes, he is standing in front of the Taj Mahal, compositing. The ultimate result to get a new identity. New identity. If the old identity is there, then it is called photo mixing. Old identity means that is a photograph. This is a photograph. It is placed independently. This is old identity. But it is a new identity. He is standing in front of that. Fine. So in a very sensible manner, the difference is there that make a sense, and that is what we need to produce. Yes, there is nothing to get worry. Even there is a market for mixing and there is a market for compositing. Even we fail, we can sell ourselves. Even we pass, we can sell ourselves. So nothing to get worry. You can see in photo studio they ask, photo mixing artists are required. Mix the photograph. And the same mixing is done in film posters. It is not called mixing. Same Photoshop they are using is there and here also. And there is business here also, here also. So I have tried my level best to catch the eye before entering into this high-end field, because I feel the other side, people have done Photoshop and some people have done After Effects. So it is not a new thing we are discussing. It is not like understandable. Fine. Then the conclusion of this 15 minutes, we have understood what is the technical word called compositing, and we will be making our career in revolving around this word. Now on this screen there is Excel sheet where you can take a print screen of it. We'll go on discussing question answer, question answer. Now compositing is not only inside the film or television, it is there in day-to-day life. We are talking, this is compositing. Then A.R. Rahman is a music composer. You would have heard this particular statement, and what does it mean then? Different tones are mixed together to form a music. If the same keyboard has been given to me, then I'll produce sounds. People will tell the sounds are coming. But the same keyboard is given to A.R. Rahman, then people tell music is coming. So identity get different. Same sounds are coming only. And that is called compositing. Fine? Medicine. So it's a best example of composition. On the backside foil of your medicine, you can find composition. Sodium nitrate, potassium chloride. The chemical names are written over there, and it makes a tablet. But out of that chemical, if any one chemical, if we consume directly to the hospital, but after taking the medicine will come out of the hospital, same chemical we are eating, but in a particular proportion, and the poison turns into a medicine because of the compositing. Hope we got to know three example of compositing in our day-to-day life. Is it okay? Does the info reaching? So you can add in your value. It is not like I need to talk more. I need to guide you. That's it. Up. It's not a rocket science field. Very easy, and we need to involve. That's it. Up. Patience and involvement required. And you can add on your point at any point you feel, and you can just come into the discuss format. Fine. Now let us go into the technical field. In this compositing, what is happening on the screen? Here we are not mixing the chemicals or sound like the sounds on the air from the mouth. We are just or the instrument. We are making the element to get mixed inside the screen. Then what are the elements we are mixing is like different type of footages. It is technically called as sound, image, image sequence, videos. These all the different elements will mix and will make a compositing. Basically, we'll be mixing of the image and the videos or image sequence. Fine. Now here the basic element is three format, but in image format we are saying. Yes. We'll move to the next part, like how many type of softwares are there who is doing this kind of jobs. There are two kind of softwares which is doing compositing. What are those? Layer based and node based. So now slowly we are entering into the compositing. Before entering, we have understood like what will be our job responsible. We'll make the people to feel like it is done through a single click of a camera. That is what your job. But it is not done in that way. It has been done through mixing process only. It is not done through the camera click. But you are the magician on the screen through which people feel like it is done through a single click. So you are paid for that. You need to create the magic on the screen. Fine then. So let's move. How many softwares who are there who can able to help us to do this compositing in computer? There are two kind of softwares, not two softwares. Two kind of softwares. Then what are those kinds of software called? One is called layer based and another is called node based. So starting with the layer based, yes, Photoshop is a layer based compositing software. So again, as per the technical thing into concern, again we got a new definition. What is Photoshop? Photoshop is a layer based photo composing software, still composing software. That is, but it is a composing software also because it creates a new identity. Matte painting and all things are mixing of the photographs in such a manner that people feel like Taj Mahal is there beside to the Charminar. You can make it compose like this. So audience feel like yes, exactly it is placed there and it is there. So that is what done in Photoshop. Matte painting is a best example of your photo composing. And now we got a different definition. What is that of Photoshop? Photoshop is a photo composing software. Photo editing and photo composing. Fine then. So next thing. Again, After Effects is a layer-based video composing software. And the myth, before going to the reality, sometimes people use technical terms like Photoshop is a designing software. But in fact, Photoshop is a photo composing software. People make some design and they give a different identity in their own opinion and they feel like it's done and we can give a name. But in fact, designing software are different. Illustrator, Corel Draw, these are like designing software. Just to get a talk, I've opened that. So now the point of discussion here, I'm not opening any software. So just discussing before going to the original, the fundamental to be get clear, and it is for the fundamental. What is compositing? The answer should be there. How many type of compositing software? Two type of layer based, node based. Now layer is clear because Photoshop does have a layer things and all these layers you do find in F7 button. Layers are there. So they are the layers. And the same thing in a node base we'll find out. The node base are button like shapes on the event. We are connecting to the buttons to get the job done. That's why it is called node based. So on your screen, you can find the interface. I'll show you what is a node means. So this is a node, a button-like things which represent a very big colors on the screen. So hope we have understood how does a node look like. So what is a node will be a question. What is a node? Node is a button-like element which represent an event. Event may be anything, effects, composition, layers, anything. A event represented by a dot is called node. So now got a second definition of the node. Now come down here onto the Excel. The node-based software and layer-based software are there to do compositing. In layer-based, what you find? After Effects is a layer-based software. And node-based software, a lot of there. Nuke, Fusion, right? Smoke, high-end software there, and it's endless. Every day new company are coming, they're making node-based softwares. So now got to know how many kind of software are there, what they are categorized as. So which software is used where? Next question. What is the difference between them? Layer-based and node-based. More like layer-based software is After Effects. It is more used inside the television, education, private albums, advertisement, and all. But mostly like node-based software used for complex designs, or in the film industry, the screen is very wide, so they use node-based software to get command thousands of elements on the screen. Like let us take example, Bahubali. One scene of the Bahubali contains 1,000 soldiers are there. So 1,000 soldiers in Photoshop means 1,000 layers are there. So 1,000 layers to get control, then you can find how many layers will be there and how much space it will take in the user interface. But if it is a dot, then you can have to arrange 1,000 dot here inside this. So the screen will be big, but within dot, one dot will represent one soldier here on the screen. But if it is layer, then you can find how much big layer, one layer, two layer, three layer, four layer, 1,000 lines will be there. So 1,000 line and 1,000 dots, you can find the difference. So the job is the same. You can control a soldier by a dot or by a line. So which is comfortable on the screen? That depends. So node base get everything to control in a dot, and layer base get everything to control in a strip format. This is a strip. So it consumes more space on the user interface. But it is easy to see, but it is difficult to identify on screen if very big dots are there. But what is the profit? The whole screen is controlled by this much of space in the screen. But the whole screen can be scrolled down to 200 pages. So that is the difference between layer and node. So they prefer to go for node-based software in the industry because screen can be composed with different layers. So hope we have find some of the reason. This type of questions you should fire like anything. Why to pay money and time on to learn this, sir? After learning will be knowing what can be done, how to handle that. But before paying money and entering into any software, start of finding the question why to learn this, where it is used, what is the alternative. If that is there, why I need to learn this? If the answer is there, yes, knowingly we are moving into the screen. So don't take my word in other way, but I'm just making it a question and answer format because these are all the problem for me in my initial days. I have not asked all these things. It make me to take more years to understand. So in the starting itself, involving in that angle I'm speaking. So if you know already, then it's a refresh for you. If not, this is to be known. Is it clear now? Which are the industry using compositing? Broadcast, film, advertising, web, and education. And a lot, not only limited to this. Computer-based tutorials, elementary, like explanatory videos, everywhere it is used. Now, can I put a question? What is the use of compositing inside the broadcasting industry, means television industry? If answer is there, yes, we are learning this by paying money knowingly. Or It is because it is not there in the syllabus. Syllabus doesn't speak what is fusion, what is compositing. Straightway tool are there. Considering everybody who is sitting in the classroom, they know why they are sitting. And in that angle, it is designed the software curriculum, but it is extra process. So now, what is fusion? As if we have got a definition over here, fusion is a node-based compositing software. What is node? It will be a question. Node is a button-like shape which represent an event. How does it looks? You can see it is here. A black color screen is represented by a small dots, and this dot or a box is called a node. So the question and answer is done. How to open and what to do, that will be later learning, but we are understanding what is node looks like. The same thing in After Effects. So let me open two softwares. If you have already done, then it is a comparative study, because I'm involving to the next level. It may make you strain, I do understand, but hoping the funda is required, in that angle I'm moving. And these are all the questions of yours, but I'm putting the voice. Am I right now? Which could be a question from our end to the others. So now on your screen, we'll be finding two type of compositing software, which is used inside the industry. And this After Effects is of Adobe, and that is of different company only. And yes, their working styles are different. This is layer based, that is node based. So let us see like how does a black color box on the screen is represented by a single dot, but the same black color box, if we need to create in After Effects, will be consuming a lot of space. So let us see in After Effects how does a black color box is created. So this is a black color box or a gray color box, any color box. So you can see now on screen, to make a single box, how much space it has taken. The whole track it hasn't taken. This much of space it has taken on this interface. Whereas in the other software, it is just taken a single dot or a small box. So this is the difference between making a box to represent in layer based and in node based. Fine, just it is a comparative format. I'm not teaching After Effects or Fusion also now. So to catch your eye, what is the difference between node and a layer? We have seen there. Now, what is the alternative software of Fusion? Yes, this new After Effects, everything is the alternative. Now, job responsible of a compositor to make the screen a feel that it has been captured by a single click. The screen should look like it is done through the camera one click. How does the works comes to the compositor? It could be a question. If your question is there, then we'll be answering it off. So exactly like that, you can create some of the questions and make the list of your questions ready. Then answer is free of cost. Either Google is there or any senior is there, or to some extent we know we can give the answer, but let the question ready. What is the pipeline of filmmaking and where does the compositor stands? Am I right? No. Does this answer are there in your syllabus or in a software? No. Unless we ask, nobody answered it. And we feel sometimes practice will make us to know this. No, practice will make you to master on the tools, not these answers. And unless this is clear, sometimes it's hard. It was hard for me. In that angle, I've written. I know the like tool handling, but what is to use, where to use, that how does the works comes, that all not have been taught or asked inside the classroom at my end. So it make me trouble. Fine then. So I have not answered this to hope if it is a question of yours, then you can take this is 1 hour session. You can take how does the works comes to the compositor. But there is no time now. We'll move to the software. And now coming to this software into concern, there are a few points to take care. This software is highly professional. Just like After Effects or Photoshop, you need to learn from YouTube. You can write down something like how to work with Photoshop or how to learn Photoshop. Then millions of videos will come up. For After Effects also you'll find thousands of videos are there. But for high-end software like Nuke, Fusion and all, very less platform is there on the YouTube to learn. So it is a point to take care of. Because this is such a software, or these kind of software are such a software, they don't give more tips and tricks. After Effects working style is different. It is Adobe based. All the tips and tricks are there on the cursor point. It will tell this is my name, my hotkey is this, like Photoshop and all. But node-based software are highly professionals. They speak completely on shape language, color language, and flow language. So we need to understand this symbolic language on screen. That is what the first difficulties in node-based software. Node-based software talks more in color, more in shapes. Suddenly, shape means rectangle, triangle, square. In this way, the shapes will get changed. And by looking to these shapes, we need to understand what does the software is speaking to us. So hope we have made it clear before entering into the software, what is the point to be taken care of. Let us see on your screen, just a introduction point of view. You can see now a lot of shapes are there, a lot of colors are there. Can you able to see? There is a box, there is a triangle, there is a circle. So all the circles, triangles, boxes are speaking something, and we need to understand this. So hope we have understood what is the point of focus to be there. And it is easy when we have understood this sign language, and we need to note out one by one. I'll talk icon wise and color wise. Highly bore, highly profit. So get ready for that. And I'll take your approval and I'll do this. If it is strain, boring, then we'll make entertain. It's easy. Now we can take the strain, we'll go in depth. So I'll be happy to take your feedbacks to go in any format you want. Is it okay? Just I made it to catch the attention before going into more strains. Fine then. So we have understood here on another point. The software will talk in this manner, and we need to focus on this side only. Now, coming on to this screen, the next one. As if you got to know, there are two kind of softwares are there, layer based and node based. Those who have done with After Effects, they have seen the software, their strength and their limitation. What is not possible with After Effects? This could be a thing to discuss before completing any software or any tools. What cannot be done that? What can be done, it's okay. That is your output. What cannot be done with that is your next level. Because you'll be going to the next level because it cannot be done on that. So exactly the same way, there are few things which cannot be done in layer based. What are those? And the solution is node based. Then why to learn two software together, sir? Node based software or layer based software? Everybody is doing compositing. We can learn one and get the job done. Why to put money, time, and all? There is answer. There are few points which cannot be done in layer based. Because of that, node based is evolved. Fine then. So let us see in a comparative manner. Not only the limitation, the strength and limitation, both the things we'll see. And you are not getting, make me stop. If you are getting okay, or else you can make the things to get repeat. Or sometimes I'll ask and you need to answer it. Right? So what is the advantage of the layer based? It is easy to understand because very big strip Photoshop like thing are there. You can see it easily. So this is the strength of layer based or After Effects. Here layer based means we are considering After Effects only because After Effects is the ruling software in the world which is layer based completely, and rest of the software compositing are node based. So mostly like whenever we are talking of layer based, we are talking of After Effects only. Now coming down to the node based, yes, it is easy to do complex compositions. Whenever the things come complex, then node based is the advantage. So we have written here the advantage of these two things in their own way, right? And let's go. It takes the base of Photoshop, very nice. So it is easy to understand the layer based software called After Effects. Once we are knowing Photoshop well, then 60% of your compositing is done in After Effects. But it takes the base of compositing idea. Layer based, if you know, then node based will be easier. That is what it has been written. If not, yes, we need to make a little more focus, right? If you know Photoshop, it's okay. We can understand layer and node both together. But Photoshop is must have. So does everyone's Photoshop is done or not?
Done, sir.
Hello everyone. అందరికీ Photoshop అయిందా?
Items.
So you can chat me up also. 1 minute. Yes, done. So it's okay. So if it is Photoshop done, then already we have learned about compositing. Just platform is changed now. Before it was a still, now it is a movie format. You can add up your feedbacks and values so that we can tune ourselves. Fine. Then next point. Widely used in the broadcasting. Now the question why? TV industry lo ekwa layer based use avutundi After Effects. We can put a question why? Because it make the things faster. Again the question why? Why node based cannot able to make faster? And the answer is like compositors are not the designers. They take the help of the designer's element to get it present on the screen. So either it's node based or layer based compositing, they takes the help of any designing software to get the elements so that they can compose. So the elements are done in Adobe based, like Illustrator, Photoshop. These are all the software where we can create the designing element. And whenever it is come to the connectivity, then After Effects connect to the Adobe Photoshop much more faster than Fusion connect to the Photoshop. Why? Because Photoshop and After Effects are of the same company called Adobe. So mostly like in broadcasting industry, TRP does matter. Television rating, how many viewers are there? The whole money come from the viewers. So they need to do it in faster ways, so they prefer to go for After Effects. So hope we got to know why. It is not like node-based software cannot able to do the compositing just like After Effects. Yes, they can do, but whenever it comes to the connectivity between designing and compositing software, After Effects makes it faster because the same company product they are. Fine. So hope we have understood why After Effects in broadcasting. Exactly the same way whenever it comes to the node based, where it is used widely in the film industry. Why? Because the screen is very big. 1000, 2000 soldiers, 2000 object will be there, and everybody has to be get under control of yours. Then node base give a wide scope. Now the question, can't After Effects do a compositing of film screen? Yes, it can does. But whenever the things are very huge and all things, then more layers it will take. So more layers it will take more time to scrub. Whereas the node-based software will does it in very limited space on the user interface, not in the hard disk. So that is the strength of node-based. Does it third point clear? Now the fourth point. Because you are paying money for this and that, and you are doing the same job. So you should have a proper reason why you are paying two time money. Am I right? No? It's a point of like, from your point of view, I'm speaking. Why to spend double money and double time to learn a single thing? Exactly the same thing. If you have entered into the designing, CorelDRAW and Illustrator, both of them does the designing. But why to spend money on both? Though we can make a designing in one software, or though we can make a compositing in one software. And the answer is yes. Now, it takes more space on the interface. It takes less space in the interface. Already you have explained. Doesn't support OBJ FBX format. After Effects doesn't support OBJ. They are the two formats, which is 3D application creating formats. Nowadays, Photoshop is also capable of making OBJ format. Let's take if already we have learned with Photoshop, then hope this screen is understandable. And this is a small circle we are making with any color, doesn't matter, and get it into 3D. If you're using a graphic card with CS6 extension version, then there is an option called new 3D extrusion from the layers. So the whole platform you can able to see a three-dimensional design. but it takes a little time because it is completely third dimension presentation. So this kind of things doesn't support by After Effects directly. By converting it into image, it support, but directly the 3D is not supported in After Effects by default. Yes, you can put some plugins and all things, that is other issues. So this three-dimensional informations can be saved in a particular file format that is called OBJ, Export 3D. So we are talking about Photoshop only. So OBJ format, it is a format which takes all this three-dimensional information, which is not supported by the After Effects, which is supported by Illustrator. Illustrator, by Fusion. Fusion support this OBJ and FBX format. So the compositing is to the next level in Fusion or in any node-based software, mostly like. So hope why to spend more 5,000 or 10,000 rupees on this. Every point is more to 3,000 rupees you can pay extra. Does it okay? Then learning the same thing doesn't require. You can able to find out the particular things why to learn Fusion. Layer-based After Effects finish means these are all the things not done there. And these are all the things which is shown in the screen. And it is done through node-based software. So particles are 2D. Particles does have X and Y value, rotation or anything. But here the particles completely 3D. I mean like the environment is completely 3D. You can see just like the 3ds Max and Maya environment in Fusion. So let us see a small glimpse of how does a 3D platform looks like. In After Effects also you do have a 3D. In Fusion also we do have a 3D. So let us see how does this 3D looks like on screen. Hope you can see on your screen the complete three-dimensional behavior. Complete 3D Max and Maya laga environment ఉంటుంది. Whereas also the same thing in After Effects. It's a comparative study. So you can make it refresh both the software. And this is the box which makes the 3D. So here you can switch to the custom view. And this is the 3D of After Effects. So you can see this is also 3D, that is also 3D, but this 3D doesn't have a volume. Thickness is missing here. There you can see the thickness. So hope we have understood what is the strength of Fusion compared to After Effects in this particular regard. Is it okay? So we'll be compositing everything inside the environment, which is completely 3D. You can move camera, light, everything. Yes, high deal of patience required. Hope you have understood now. Now, the third point is clear. So for this reason, again, you can make more investment money on this. Why to spend money? That is the reason I'm creating now. So timeline zoom to is limited. Timeline. If you've done with After Effects, then you can find the timeline is restricted to maximum how much? 1 frame. In between 1 frame, we cannot able to find the value. But in After Effects, but in Fusion, the timeline is more detailed. Because it is more detailed, yes, we can make the value to get control more. So this is the timeline where after 1 or 2, just to show you, you can see now after 48, the 49 is coming. But 48 and 49, you can see more smaller value also can be shown. Hope we are understanding what is happening on the screen. You can see now each frame can be again seen in very detailed manner till 1,000 fractions of a particular second, even go more. Then what is the benefit? 1 second is 1 second only, but you can see a micro level of timing information also. This is the strength of node based. Hope we have understood. The more detail you can able to see the timeline, the more detail we can able to control the animation, and the animation will look such perfect. And because of this, in detail zoom out of the timeline. So there is timeline, but here the detail is more, and that is one of the reason why we can able to spend some extra time and money on this. Next, Z channel is missing. What is Z channel? Again, X coordinate, Y coordinate, we have understood. Red channel, green channel, blue channel, you have understood, right? Like the image information is saved in colors. The color information is saved in the channels. Channel is the storehouse of the colors. Red, blue, green is the primary color, and here you can also see in After Effects. Yes, you can find RGB channels, red channel, green channel, blue channel information. But there is a special channel called Z channel. What is that? It saves the information of the photographs, how far it is away from the camera. Camera distance is Z channel. Here color information is saved. But Z channel information is there generally inside the footage created by 3D Max and Maya. So how far it is away from the camera, that could be recorded, and that information is recorded through a channel that is called Z channel, which is not supported in After Effects. So I have just taken the help of the explanation only, but hope I try my level best to get you clear. Z, X, Y, Z, X coordinate, Y coordinate, and Z coordinate. Z is front and back. How far the object is from away from the camera in front, that is saved in a particular that information is saved in a channel that is called Z channel, which is not supported in After Effects, which is there in Fusion. It is supported. It could be a question like, what is Z channel? They may ask you in the interview. What is the difference between layer based and node based? It could be a question in the interview. What is OBJ format? It could be a question. It is there in Photoshop. Answer should be there. Rendering can be done to the composition. This is a beautiful option. So what is this? Once you are done with your compositing, then final output is done through the compositing. Then Control M, the time you clear, the time we hit Control M in After Effects, then what are the things are there inside this composition, everything get rendered. But if we need only this layer to render, then it is not possible here. Again, you need to make a pre-comp and all things are there. But directly you can able to render at any layer of the composition in Fusion. Fusion is capable of rendering any layer information from that layer directly, which doesn't require the composition whole thing to be get rendered. So hope we have cased the eye why to spend money on this. I've not opened any software, so nothing to get worried. Just, but we have made it clear why to learn this software. Next, node look like a strip, or like layers look like a strip. Strip means that this is called strip, bend, and node look like a button. So hope we have understood what is the things we have learned today. What is compositing? Check does the answer is there with you or not. What is the job role of a compositor? How many type of compositing software are there? What are those and what is the difference? What is called a node? How many node-based software are there? What are those? Right? What is the difference between layer-based and node-based? If you have learned the layer-based compositing, why to spend time and money on node-based? Answer is there, then we are ready to go for the action. Is it okay? So,
Okay.
will I stop? In the next session, just we have introduced the layer in node-based. We have not started off with Fusion also. And in that angle, what is the task could be done? Note down few questions. If it does have anything more to get asked, we'll make it clear. Second, if it is your first software of compositing, then start watching on internet the motion graphics. Okay, infographics. Correct. So what is to be done? I'm making it clear. Then it will save your time. download trailers of film. Because these are the tasks which can be done before starting the software. Then the database is there with you. Download the trailers. Okay, so this much of this only we have asked to make 3 tasks. Just do 3 tasks, and whatever the things it has been taught you of now, start finding out in the net what are the Wikipedia speaks about node-based and layer-based compositing software. What is the difference between them? What Wiki speaks. This is what your faculty speaks. But what more information can we gather it up? Hope it is clear. Now this software is used widely in the film, completely the alternative is Nuke also. Then highly secure centralized AC room is waiting for you. Only one software if you're good at anything, like it may be Nuke or it may be Fusion, any. Find the reason of speaking all the things. Here, yes, we are not denying like After Effects is not big. I'm a film composer. I work for like 10, 15 movies. In Telugu, my first movie is Yogi. I'll show you the trailer in the next session. My first movie is Yogi. I've done with After Effects. Practically, I'm speaking like what I've used in my service career. On 96, like 2006, 7 Sankranti, the movie was released, Yogi. Completely After Effects I've used to make the ropes to be get removed, fight sequence and all things. And plugins are used. But I'm speaking like high-end software like Bahubali and all, then Node.js. So none of the software is big or small. I work with Yogi, Raju Bhai, Bangar Kunda, Vijay Dasmi, Krishna Arjuna. They all the movie credited me. Everywhere I've used After Effects. So I mean to say that it is not the software which makes the difference. It's the person who is working with the software get the things to be different. Yes, we need to learn both the software layer and node based. Hope before starting the software, if any more question is there, you can note it down. We'll make it clear. So our journey will be much more easier. If anything to be get add of, you can make me chat box, chat up, or else if you want to speak me up. So from tomorrow onwards, the software will start. Hope the things of regularity will be there. We'll meet the next session at 11 o'clock tomorrow. Fine for the day. If anything you want to speak, yes, you can allow to speak and you can make me ping off also. It's okay then. We'll meet tomorrow at 11 o'clock. So I'm stopping or pausing the screen now. Paint artist and roto, which should I choose? Yes, for painting, yes. For roto, the market is using even like Fusion. I have used After Effects also for roto. In Raju Bhai, around 700 frames, I've used the roto in After Effects, but there is special software for that. Sillout is a complete software which is exclusive for this work. Is it okay? But yes, the fundamental remain the same. We need to understand the fundamental. Then, as the studio will provide us any software, we can all work. Is it okay, Akshay? You can work in any software, but your roto funda to be get clear. As per their license into concern, we are artists, right? And they will make us update within 2 days. And there are companies who are making their own software also. But they hire the person who knows rotoscope. And painting the same, like, yes, you can work with After Effects also. Fusion After Effects is capable of painting. Ropes remove and all things. Combustion, one of the software was there, combustion. It is now not there of discrete company. So it is widely used. Like I'm speaking about 15, like 2006. I mean, like it is almost like 12, 15, 12, 13 years back. Is it okay? Fine then. So hope we'll enjoy the software in the next session. And makes you're cool because you can see now how much strain it is there, and we are going in depth. Sometimes it makes you a little bore. Nice to meet you all. So we'll meet in the next session with the higher options.